presentation. Oh. Okay, hello everyone. Hey Jessica, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Thank you for being with me today. My name is Victoria Torres, and I work for the Samuel I Foundation. I'm the Director of Community Impact with a specific focus in Anaheim, and so that's why we're here today. I'm so excited to interview Jessica Bello, Program Manager with the Community Action Partnership of Orange County, specifically located at Anaheim Independence Center. And today we're going to learn about what they're doing, the work they're doing in the community, and the reason why they're part of this series that we're embarking on this month is because CAPOC is a grantee of the Anaheim Community Impact Grant that was given out this past February, just before COVID. And so we are just checking in with all of our grantees to see how they're doing, to learn about the work that they're doing and how they've adjusted to COVID. So I'm really, really excited to learn about the work that you're doing, learn more about Anaheim Independence Center and all the clients and the community that you serve. So thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Yeah. So why don't we start off? Why don't you go ahead and tell me about yourself, about your role, and CAPOC in general as it relates to the community.
So I'll start with myself. My name's Jessica. I've been with Community Action for 5 years. I just turned 5 July 30th. So that was
Congrats.
my
Good.
anniversary. So with Community Action, I mean, they have so many programs. We're a nonprofit. Our main, mission, our main thing is to work with communities and trying to get them out of poverty, whether it's providing with resources, giving them the tools they need to hopefully be able to get out of, poverty and be able to succeed and get ahead in life. So we provide educational programs. It's an all-around process. So community action is really big. So we have different programming. One of the programmings we have, it's actually our family resource centers. We have 2 resource centers, one in Orange here in Anaheim, and then we also have Southwest Community Center in Santa Ana, which provides food for the homeless. So with us here in Anaheim, a resource center is just a facility that is available to the community. We focus in Anaheim, but we are open to Orange County. We get people from different cities and we provide resources. It's in the name. So it just depends on what a client is coming in to look for. We get people coming in just simply they need document translation. So most of us are bilingual, so we're able to help them out. And if they need to fill out paperwork, depending on what it is, we either help them fill it out or we look for a center or a resource that's going to help them if we can't do it, especially with legal documents.
Right.
So food is another one. It's a big one, especially right now, but that's one thing we provide. We have counseling on site. We have different classes like financial stability, healthy marriages. We have a senior citizen program,
Yes.
a youth program. So I could just name them all, but it's really resources for the community. If we don't have something on site, we look for the resource for our clients.
Yeah, and that's really the essence of a family resource center, right? It's got multiple services, but at the end of the day, if you don't have it, then how do you connect them to
Right.
that service outside? And so talk a little bit more specifically about Anaheim Independence Center and the location, the history of it, and just high level, because I know we're going to do a tour, which is exciting because we haven't done that before on this platform. But yeah, talk a little bit more about Anaheim Independence Center and what goes on there.
So our Anaheim Independence Research Center has been here for, I want to say, over 15 years. I don't have the exact amount, but working with CAPOC, they've come in and they work with La Colonia. That's what the neighborhood's called, really. So we have a lot of people that have been here for years, and we are in the middle of a neighborhood, like a lot of FRCs. So we just provide services for our community here. We've been doing this for years. It's evolved as time has gone by. We did start really with just the basics, like, being able to provide certain resources. And as time has gone on and we've been able to partner up with different organizations, we've been able to provide our community with not just, food and maybe donations or anything like that. We're able to provide them with a lot of health resources, which whether it's mental health or any type of physical health, we're able to provide them with the resources that they need. So we are in Anaheim. I want to say we're at the border of close to Stanton, Garden Grove, so we are a little bit further. We're not, and Anaheim is a huge city,
It
so we're a little bit on the closer side to these cities, like Garden Grove, Stanton,
is.
Buena Park. So we are on this side. So we have a lot of people from all over Anaheim that come in to get our services. But really, I mean, especially now with COVID, we've gotten people from all over Orange County
I
that are
bet.
coming in, yeah,
I bet.
to for assistance.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I actually had the pleasure of visiting Anaheim Independence almost a year ago, and you really are in a neighborhood. I mean, drove in, and you, I mean, it's like a big house, but it could be, you could pass it almost if it didn't have the gate and the sign. But I love that it is centrally located in the neighborhood, so that the people surrounding that neighborhood have easy access. Because I know with the population that you serve, accessibility is key. So it's walking distance, right, for a lot of the families that live in that area, which I think is another component to an FRC, is that it has to be accessible. And so you're in a very highly concentrated area, for those residents specifically.
Yeah, we are. I've been here in Anaheim itself for a couple months. So one of the things, we'll highlight is we do delivery of food to our senior
Mhm.
citizens because we're not having them come in. So
Yeah.
one of the things I noticed while I was driving around and mapping out the places was that our clients are very around us. They might be a little somewhat further up, but they kind of go in a circle surrounding us.
Yes.
And they're not, I mean, we deliver to about 30 senior citizens,
Okay.
30, maybe 20 to 25, actually. We give to 30 seniors
Mhm.
food, but about 20 to 25, we deliver food to them.
Got it.
So we noticed that we're like, hey, we're going in a circle around the
Yeah.
area. And it touches Buena Park, it touches, like I said, Garden Grove when we're going. And some of them are in those cities. It's just that they're so close by that
Yeah.
we're able to drive. I don't think we drive more than maybe, I could be wrong, but I think about 5 miles is the longest with some of our clients that we're going.
Got it. That's great. Yeah, and I mean, that's the whole point, is that it's supposed to be easily accessible. So that's great that you're delivering. I know, especially with our senior population, there's a lot of fear in going out, or just, with the COVID, and that them being a more susceptible population to getting sick. So it's great that
Mhm.
you are, providing that service. So thank you. So let's talk about the space and before COVID. Like, what typically is a day at Anaheim Independencia? You mentioned some of the programs earlier, but talk about the programming that happens at that space on a daily basis.
So a typical day, I mean, it just depends, but some days it's just foot traffic like no other. Our door
Mhm.
people are just in our lobby, they're all around. But normally we have programming here.
Okay.
We had counseling here on site. We had Medi-Cal on site, so we had someone come in once a week to help people. They would make an appointment. We had our Stand Up for Kids program, so they would
Okay.
come in 3 times a week in the evenings. We
Cool.
would be open in the evenings for them, and so they would come in and they just work with the programs, whether they do tutoring, they have like a workshop going on. And then after school, we had our little ones for tutoring program. They're all elementary school kids. I think we
Mhm.
had a couple that were maybe sixth graders, but a lot of them were little, 5 years old. I think was the youngest. So we did tutoring. So in the morning, it's mostly us coming in. The staff checks emails if they had clients coming in for appointments, whether they needed help, like I said, with some document translation, they needed some resources. we're very seasonal. So I being at the FRCs for 5 years, I realized that I don't track time based on the months. It's based on what's going on. So January to probably April is tax season because we provide taxes for the community for free. We do not charge, so we have to get trained.
Got it.
We partner up with United Way, and so January to April we're kind of setting up. We start tax season. We get a little bit of a breather in May, June, and then we start our
Mhm.
new fiscal year, which is July, and then we start prepping for we have the summer program, the end of the school year for the kids summer program. In there we squeeze in the backpack program because we give out backpacks to kids. It varies. This year it's one of the years I think we're going to be giving a little less just because of donation wise that we were able to get, but normally the centers are giving out anywhere between 300 to 500 backpacks to students.
Wow,
um, so that'll
that's
be
great.
it. The kids go back to school, and then
Yeah.
we usually plan activities for the family. So we'll have like a Halloween event. We partner up with different partners to do a Thanksgiving, whether it's a basket or a turkey, whatever we can get. And then Christmas, Toys for Tots, we do give gifts as well. It's anywhere between 300 to 500, just depending on how many donations we get.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how our year goes. So we get a couple breathers in there, but that those are the seasonal programs. But just things that we keep every day. We have classes um, for our clients. So
Hmm.
it just depends on the day, but it's rare when we have a slow day. And for
Yeah.
some reason, always our busiest days, it's on the Friday when you want to go and it's the weekend, and then you're getting a
Yeah.
donation that you need to wait for, or
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes our clients, if it's something serious, then we do case management as well, so we have to wait and make sure we're able to
Yeah.
take care of them and everything and help them as much as we can. So that
Yeah.
usually happens on a Friday. So
Yeah.
it's an
Well,
adventure for us.
it's a fun place. When I was there, it was a little quiet because I got there just before like school got out,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's a very homey space too, as we'll find out, well, as we'll see here in a minute with the tour. But it's for some people, I'm sure it's a nice place to go to just relax. I think there were some seniors there when I came around, and they were just playing cards. So yeah, I can believe that it's hard
Yes.
to
And let me
get
tell
them
you, the
out.
seniors, this is their center.
Yeah,
So you will not like you tell them they can be here until 1, they will be here until 1.
till one.
And they're
Yeah.
like, this is our home, and they'll say it. They play loteria, which is their favorite game.
Uh
They
huh.
You don't mess with their loteria. They eat lunch here. So we
Yeah.
have volunteers. We're very fortunate we have volunteer, and I believe a staff from Meals on Wheels, which is the partner that
Yes.
provides the food, that cook for us here. So they're hilarious. They get dropped off. So we actually had a it's funny now that when they told me about it. It's a Maria who's a coordinator for the program. That
Yeah.
they actually had to change the times because they were showing up before the center even opened. So we were like, they would be cleaning, the floors, and they were walking in. And
Oh,
obviously that's a liability because we are like, you can
yeah.
fall, or the tables weren't clean yet, or they were being organized. So they did
Yeah.
have to instill in them, okay, we don't start until later in the morning, so do not show up before.
Yeah.
So it was something that it's funny, we laugh about it, but it's for their safety. But they were just like,
Yeah.
well, why are you not letting us come in earlier? This is our center, and they just love it
That's
here.
great.
For them right now it's been really hard because we don't have the program, and they'll
Yeah.
call us, or they when we deliver food, they're like, when are you gonna have us back? When are you gonna have us back? So for
Yeah.
that, it's
Yeah.
still up in the air for us, but I think they're the
Yeah.
funniest group we have, the seniors.
I bet. I bet. So yeah, that kind of leads into how are you guys adjusting to COVID? So you're doing food delivery. You mentioned a couple of things earlier. What are some other things that you have had to do to adjust to closing it?
So we had a program. We still have it. It's shifted as well, but it's La Colonia
Mhm.
Market. So people essentially
Okay.
were coming in and shopping. It's all free,
Yeah.
but we called it shopping because they got to choose what they wanted.
Yeah.
So I'll show you the area right now. It's being used more for like freezer food or anything like that. But before, it had a lot of different variety.
Okay.
So that was one thing that we were doing. So right when we closed, all of our programming stopped. A lot of
Mhm.
like the counselors or any of the caseworkers, they were kind of like, hey, or because we work with a lot of partners, they were like, we can't be here right now. We're either
Right.
closing or we're gonna be working remotely. So it just depended. I think the first 2 weeks of the when we closed the center, we actually closed as well. We were working remotely, and everything was by phone. So
Okay.
when we were actually able to come back, it was everything's by appointment. So what we decided to do and what we were helped with the money, with the grant money, is we were able to create a drive-through for
Oh,
people
okay.
to come in. So we have a parking lot. I think
Mhm.
that's one of the when you drive by, that you'll be able to tell that it is the center because we have
Yeah.
parking lot. But other than that, you would miss it. Like you said,
Right.
it's like a big house. So we created a drive through for our community, just to keep distance, to make sure that the clients and the staff are safe. But we still
Mhm.
were getting so many calls about food.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that just escalated. Whereas before it was, a mix of services, food just went up to the top of our list. So we realized that it's not something we could just close the center for.
Mhm.
We really needed to figure it out, and it took a lot. I mean, we started doing it, I want to say, almost right away when we after we closed everything else. But it was a hit or miss. I mean, we were trying to figure out how do we get the people in. It's in the neighborhood, so we didn't want to have issues with traffic and blocking and anything like that. So we kind of, and we were getting a lot of people that weren't our clients per se. So we were also trying to figure out how do we track it. I mean, we can't get signatures. We're not filling out paperwork. And
Yeah.
that's usually how we track our things. So we had to figure out a system. Now we did this, what, probably April, so we've been doing this for a couple months now, and we're not perfect, but I feel like we have it going on now. Like we know what we need to do, and we know who's coming. We're servicing anywhere between, I want to say, about 80 to 110 people a week probably. So
Wow.
it and we've had to work. I think now it's traffic again because everybody was showing up. Even though they had appointments, they were all showing up in the first like 30 minutes. So that was a struggle as well. So
Yeah.
we figured out, we called people, we let them know, hey, just FYI, like, make sure you're coming in at your appointment time,
Yeah.
not earlier, which I know in a lot of places they'll tell you come in earlier.
Yeah.
But for us, it's just we don't want to risk losing our programming because the people in the neighborhood,
True.
a lot of them are trying to go to work, the ones that are still able to, and if we block them,
Yeah.
that's that's an issue. So they've been really good the past, I want to say, maybe 3 weeks. We've been really good with traffic
Mhm.
controlling, and we'll get there. I know we will. But yeah, I mean, that's a one program that just grew. We just got so many people that were like, we need
Mhm.
food. And
Yeah.
so we were able to provide that for them. And then gradually we've been able to add a little bit more,
Okay.
than just the food boxes. But yeah, I mean, we still have our other programming, and that's kind of going back up. We're getting
Got
people, I think, with the situation, they want counseling, they want
Yeah.
to talk to caseworkers or case managers. So they're looking for other resources, rental assistance, housing, or anything like that. But food is
Yeah.
still our top one.
Yeah, and so what are in those conversations, what are the new needs that you are seeing in this community? Is it like even with counseling or the case management, are the topics changing? So you said rental assistance. I mean, I know there's kids in the area, so I know with this whole school district, issues going on, what they're going to do. What are some of the new challenges that are popping up?
So I know, for us, I mean, housing is a big one. People are losing their homes. They don't have the money to pay the rent. So we've been trying to look for programming. So to see if there's any help out there. That's one. Counseling wise, the topics have shifted a little as well. I mean, I can't disclose a lot because it is private information, but I know a lot of the clients, their kids are not feeling, they're scared. They watch the
Mhm.
news, whether they do it on purpose or by accident, and
Yeah.
they're afraid, or just knowing that the situation is so up in the air. One day we're being told you can come back, then it kind of goes back, no, you can't. So even the parents, they're stressed. They have the
Mhm.
kids at home all day, which I can't imagine having little ones and trying to figure it out. I don't have kids, but I just see how the parents talk to me and they tell me,
Yeah,
um, we need something for them. Like, are you guys having programs? Can we bring them over? And we actually were able to do a small summer program, really tiny. We were trying to test it out to see if we were able to have the kids be separate, 6 feet apart, and maintain social distancing and following the rules. We just finished yesterday. We only did it for a couple weeks, twice a week, and it was pretty good. I mean, we talked to the parents, made sure that they were okay. The parents were like, "Yes, take the kids, take the kids."
of course.
They
Yeah.
just needed a breather. They
Mhm.
love their kids, but having entertain them, and some of them don't have internet. Some of them don't
Yeah,
have the resources, even for the kids to be inside watching TV. Because before it was go outside, play, but even
yeah,
now, like the parents are trying to keep their kids inside. So,
yeah,
even now with the schools, they still don't know, some of them, if the schools are going to be being virtual or are they hybrid class or what's going on. So we've gotten a couple parents that um they just sometimes they don't know how to connect with the school. So I was
mhm.
under the impression that some of the public schools are giving like either tablets or laptops with
Yeah,
internet. But I've gotten a couple, they're like, hey, like my kid doesn't have internet, how are they gonna do schooling? um we
yeah,
don't have supplies, we don't have the money for supplies, so we have some backpacks and we've been working on getting the supplies ready for them. So
yeah.
we're trying to
Wow.
provide for them as much as possible or look around to see what's available for them. And just having food around allows them to breathe a little, because they don't have to worry about having to get as
Yeah.
much food as they needed, or they don't have to get any for the week anymore because they have enough with what we're able to give them.
That's great. Yeah, I know. I even myself, I have two kids, and the 5-year-old is, was supposed to go to preppy K, and even even me as a someone who does have internet and a computer and technology and a phone, like it's been a lot of information that
Hmm.
changes daily, and you got to check your messages and email, right? And some
Right.
parents might not have email. If they don't have internet, why would they have email, or why would they have any of that? And if that's the only way that they're communicating to parents, it can get very overwhelming. Even me, as someone who can navigate technology well, it's even overwhelming for me. And then you open up a document and it's like 20 pages long. So, and and I don't know if all the students are even in the same district. Anaheim has 5 elementary school
Yes,
districts.
so
So,
many schools, I found out.
right,
A lot of
they're
schools.
all operating in different with different rules. So yeah, you guys, it must be very helpful for them to go to one place that they trust. I think at the end of the day, the FRCs are really about trust, right? And going somewhere that they know Jessica, or they know Rita, or they know whoever, because they walk in and they see the same familiar face. And that's what a lot of it is for people. They just want comfort, and they want to trust. And they've really built that trust there at the space. So that's awesome. You mentioned partnerships really quickly. You mentioned United Way. You mentioned Meals on Wheels. Any other new partnerships that have developed?
We're working with Faces, which is providing counseling. Access California is also providing counseling, parenting classes. WTLC. This is all coming in through Fact. So then we also have. I'm trying to think of everyone right now. 211 OC. So when our contract year started in July, we actually were able to have someone here
Mhm.
um, starting in July from 211 OC. So people can call 211 and ask for resources, ask for any type of help that they might need. But with us, you're able to call us, and it makes it easier, because if you're calling and for example right now we don't have Medi-Cal on site. So if someone calls in, they're like, hey, I need to reapply, or I need to apply for the first time, or it's expiring, whatever needs they need, we can't help them, unfortunately. We don't have access to any of that. But we're able to say, you know what, let me connect you with 211, and they're here on site, so they're able to work with them a little bit more in depth than if they were just calling generally the number. And they do a really good job, the actual hotline in itself, but having someone here, it allows them to be able to say, oh, they're right there at the center, so let me call them. I'll see if they know of anyone that has, a daycare program, or that rental assistance, that's a big one, or any type of programming out there that we can send our kids to, or even the parents, so they're able to help us a lot of the times. Before that, we were doing it ourselves, which is not a big deal. We can do it ourselves as well, but it does help us right now to be able to say, okay, they'll have access to it in their database. Whereas we research, as best as we can, we're calling, and they're able to just pop it up if it's something that's in the database, and they'll be like, here you go. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but if it doesn't work out, then we go back at it and try to find something else. So that's a new one that we've had right now. I'm trying to think. Well, Second Harvest Food Bank is another. We do work with them. Um, we just got another one, which is, oh my gosh, I'm gonna botch their name, but it's the House of Hope. They have the Nanas Kids program, so they're gonna be able to provide
Harmless
some.
House of Hope.
Yes, thank you. I was like, I know the name. She just sent me the email, and we're gonna be able to partner up. And I believe we're starting next week, where they're gonna be able to bring us some food bags as well for the kids, for the younger kids. And I'm trying to think. There's so many more, and I know I'm forgetting them, so I'm so sorry for forgetting you. But there's so many programs that we partner up with around here.
That's great. Yeah, no, partnerships are very, very important, especially in an FRC, because you're doing so much that you can't do it all. So it's great that you leverage, right, what exists in the community. So also last question before we move to the tour. So how has grants and scholarships or sponsorships and all that funding affected your work? I know that there was a lot of movement in the space, and so I know a lot of this can't be done without partnerships and funding. So how has grant funding affected your work?
So, in general, I mean, having any grant funding is very helpful for us. Like I mentioned, we do these programmings like the backpacks, Thanksgiving, all that. Those are big programs we have, but we have smaller things as well. And
Yeah,
a lot of the programs, I work with them alongside them, but I'm not the lead. But even just how we've mentioned before, the financial empowerment program, being able to teach the clients about budgeting, credit scores, all the, how to, especially now with such uncertainty of, and
yeah,
people not working. We have like here on site, the manager for the Healthy Marriage and Family program is here as well. So even just seeing how they work with their clients, and try to build those relationships with the families, and making sure that they're able to provide resources for them as well. That's a big thing. I mean, for us, we wouldn't be able to do our programming, especially right now, our food program. We would be able to give them some food, which I know our clients would appreciate, but having that extra funding allows us to give them more. It's not just, oh, they'll have produce for the week, but we also are able to, those food boxes that we've been giving them, because we've opened them to see exactly what is in there. There's rice, there's beans, there's pasta, there's canned goods, which they can make for the pasta, the sauces. So there's so many things in there that I've heard, and I've heard from clients that had never been to an FRC before. This is their first time in it, and it's such a hard transition for so many people that have never reached out. And they've said
yeah.
that, I'm able to cook for my kids. Like, I don't have to worry, and or I'll just buy whatever else is left that you weren't able to give us in those boxes. But I'm usually set, and that does cut the amount of money I have to spend.
Oh yeah,
So for
yeah,
us, getting that funding is just, it's the best feeling. I mean,
yeah.
they especially now, everybody's being so lenient in how they need us to either report it or
Mhm.
let them know, because before, and it makes sense, before they needed a little bit more detail, whether it's signatures, number of people, and we're still getting all that, but it is very different. And our partners, anyone that's ever provided any funding that's helping us, especially right now during COVID, they've been really good about, working with us. And they're like, well, we want to keep the client safe, we want to keep the staff safe, so
Yeah.
maybe we won't have you do it the same way you were doing before. Let's figure out a way. And that's how we've been able to work. And it's less of a worry, because when this was all going on, we were like, well, we have this food, we can go and try to get some from here. Let's try to up see if we can up it from other programs. But all these
Mhm.
other programs or agencies are so full of needs as well, that people
Yeah,
need them right now. So it's like we don't want to, we can ask, but they're going to give us as much as they can. So just
right.
having that extra funding, we're able to say, hey, let's produce more boxes. Let's,
Yeah,
let's have that food for our families. And so yeah, I mean that's kind of what we've been doing, and
good.
it's been an adventure, and we've had our moments. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
Yeah,
I can sit here and tell you all the good things, and we've had our moments as well, because I'm
right.
sure, like everyone in the country or the world, is it's very stressful. It's something that we were never prepared for.
Yeah, nobody planned for this. Nobody
Nobody planning, nobody knows what to do. To an extent, we're
Mhm.
still trying to
Yeah.
figure it out, and just having that help, having people look at our organization, and just look at
Mhm.
Anaheim, for example, and be like, you know what, Anaheim needs help.
Yes.
Let's connect with community action. Just having that for us is very beneficial. We're very grateful. We really, we would have, I want to say we would have found resources, but we wouldn't be able to provide them as greatly as we have right now if we didn't have your funding, or your help, or all of our other partners help that we've received during these past couple of months. So to us, I mean, we're like, keep it coming, we'll keep doing it, we are more than
Well, that's
happy, we'll
good.
figure it out. So
Nice.
yeah, I mean, we're very
Awesome.
grateful.
That's good. No, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's just nice to know that it's, you know, being utilized for the community. And yeah, and you guys, I've worked in nonprofit 15 years before, coming to the funding side. And so I know better than any that nonprofits know the community best. I mean, you guys are the ones that see them every day, that are visiting them now every day, that are talking to them every day. So you guys know their needs better than anyone. So that's why I love being in this sector and get to do this. So thank you. Well, let's take a little tour. So
Yes.
I know you're there today. So show us around. Just kind of walk around. Let us know where all the fun stuff happens, and then we'll close out here.
Oh yes, I was trying to figure out if I could flip over the camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, hold on, I need to put on my mask.
Oh yes.
Yes,
Always have
so
to do.
everybody has to wear one whenever they're here on site. So
Mhm.
let me just fix myself real quick.
And then I'm just going to take myself off the screen, so you probably won't be able to hear me, but just keep talking, and then I'll interject. But go ahead and tell us what you're.
Okay. So
Yeah.
here it's empty right now. We have one of our coordinators, Grisel. Yes, her mask is on. So she's working here. She's from actually the Healthy Marriage and Family Program. So this is Miss Grisel, and then this is where we used to have our seniors. Right now we're not having our seniors, but we still prep the food here. So any frozen meals that we get, we actually make sure we sanitize the tables, and then we're prepping the deliveries for them every Thursday. So I have Miss Catherine here. She's saying hi. She's from our AmeriCorps. So she's been here for a couple months, for almost a year. So she helps us with making sure that we're setting up the appointments. So this is like our main hall. We try to keep it as clean as possible. So this right now is very, very messy, so I apologize, but we have things out. And then food boxes we have, these are going to be giving out Thursday. We're actually getting a delivery today. So right here, we're working on our backpacks. We're trying to get them ready for next week. So this was our computer room. We had our kids come in when we had our kid program, our youth program, but right now it's just boxes full of books and supplies. We're hoping to find some more supplies, so you know we need those. Backpacks, we are limited this year, but we're working with that. So we have a couple more food boxes. These were delivered, so we are going to be giving everything away on Thursday, which is tomorrow. So it's a little full in here. I mean, we've used this as more of a place for the deliveries. This is our little market. This before used to be full of food that people would be shopping. Now it's food that we are delivering. So we have some food boxes in there. We work with our programmings here to be able to package everything. Here's some more food from our food bank. And actually, Healthy Marriage and Families does this for their program specifically, but we're able to, get some food from them as well. So this is our little market. Usually it's actually way messier. Thursdays it becomes a huge place where we're packaging and everything. But this is kind of how it is. I'll show you guys the parking lot just because this is where we're doing our drive-through. Today is just regular. I hope you guys can hear me. It's kind of loud, but we set up park.
Fine.
We clear out all the cars, and then this is where the cars are coming in, kind of like a U-turn. So this is our little center. One of our trees fell, so we're hoping to get that removed soon. And then we
Oh,
have a little park that we are not using right now because of COVID, but hopefully
mhm.
eventually we'll be able to open it up again. But
Wonderful.
yeah, let me go back in here. So yeah, so as you can see, we have a lot going on, and we just bring the
Yeah,
stuff into the room. Um, but yeah,
that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Jessica. That was really great. It's
I
like
might have lost you.
we've
Okay, there.
never done a tour live, so thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. It looks like a really big space, and yes, even though people can't go in there, you've got a lot going on. So, thank you for all the work that you guys are still doing and going and showing up. I know. How often do you go into the office?
So I'm struggling in hearing you,
Oh,
but are you able to hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, so I don't know what happened. I think it's my connection, but
Okay.
I want to thank you so much,
Yes.
for taking the time to talking with me. I hope that you were able to get a sense of what we're doing here. We're very thankful for everything you all have done. Like I said earlier, without you guys, we would not be able to provide as much food for our community as we are right now. So we truly are thankful, and anything you guys need, just let us know, and we'll
Yeah.
definitely be here for you all.
Oh, no, thank you. You guys are doing the work, so we appreciate everything you're doing in the community, and we look forward to learning more, and especially when we open up, and maybe we'll do another tour, but when everything is hopping and going going on full cylinders.
Sorry,
So
I'm having a hard time hearing you, but
thank you.
I'm trying to read your
Oh,
lips up.
bummer.
I'm not sure
Okay.
what happened. I think it's my phone.
Okay, no worries. Well, thank you again,
Thank
and we
you.
will see you again. Okay. Good luck and stay healthy.